Welcome back to another episode of No Money, No Shame. Today I'm going to talk about basically how to take pictures of products that you want to sell online and how to make it look crisp, fresh, ready to go right off the bat, just using your cell phone. I use the Moto Z2 Play Android phone. It is not the best camera, but I'll show you how you can take the best pictures and using the best software with your in-phone camera, editing a little bit on Google Photos, and then also the free app that you can download called Snapseed, which is the default for photo editing, I would say. There's definitely a lot of other different programs that you can use, but I use Snapseed and basically the in-app camera. But let me dive into it a little bit. The first thing I want to talk about is what you are selling. So if you're selling, let's say, your shoes online and you're looking at StockX, you're looking at GOAT, you're looking at Poshmark, you're looking at Depop, you're looking at all these different places that you can sell your shoes on the secondhand market. Now, a lot of these places like StockX and GOAT and even other places that take high-end products, you'll send them the product and they'll take pictures. So it looks streamlined across the board on their websites. They take quality pictures. So my first suggestion would be, okay, figure out what you're selling. Maybe go online, find a product that's absolutely similar to that or the exact same product and compare and contrast the pictures. Take the best quality image picture you can, whether it's directly from that product's manufacturer, and try to duplicate that look and those same colors that you have for whatever product you're going to sell. For me, in my case, it's going to be shoes. Compare and contrast with the product that you're trying to sell. You don't have to have a DSLR camera. You can just use really any camera or any newer smartphone camera. Let's talk about the 5 different things that I think are important when you're doing product photography on your phone to sell secondhand. First item is your environment. Make sure that the space you're using is clean, it's ready to go. I've seen a lot of pictures online. People take pictures of like their shoes on the floor or clothes on the floor, and it's like, why would I want to buy a shirt that's been on that dirty ass floor or been on that rug? I can see dog hair on it, I can see stains, shadows, different type of things. I get it, but take a little bit of care in thinking of, okay, if I saw this online, would I buy this if I saw that dirt stain next to it on the carpet? I absolutely would not. Second thing I want to talk about in your environment, keep it simple and themed with your surroundings. Make sure if you're shooting outside, don't shoot your sneakers that are $300-$400. Don't shoot them outside. Like, it just, don't put it with a backdrop of a tree. Like, nobody, they're not hiking boots. Maybe if you have hiking boots, it makes more sense to shoot it outside. But with sneakers, I feel like it's the easiest thing to do is put it with a white backdrop. Keep it simple, keep it clean. That way it really focuses just on the sneaker, and that's what people are looking at, and that's where you need to make sure you get the right angles, the right details, so somebody can just be like, bam, there's no confusion or anything like that. This is what you see, what you get, and it's simple is elegant. It can look very nice. You're going to shoot inside or you're going to shoot outside. Inside is nice. You're going to have some sort of artificial lighting. And outside is good. You get natural light and you can get different environmental shots depending on your product. The second most important essential aspect I feel like for taking these photographs is your framing. So your framing is your composition. What does it look like on your phone? So a lot of phones either have grids or you can turn the grids on and off, which would basically be, it's a rule of thirds. So if you're looking at it, it's like, boom, you got these lines like this, and it's basically centering your picture or being able to frame up your picture. I would say for products, definitely center or try to be in the center of your grids. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. There are a lot of other different composition basics that you can learn. I'll talk about that a different time, but that's the rule of thirds. Let's talk about also framing. Let's say you don't have the grids on your phone. There is still a way that you can do it. You can take a picture, even if it's a little bit off, and you can go in later in Snapseed or in whatever photo editor you use and crop the image so the product that you're trying to sell is in the center of the screen. Lighting is key. Definitely make sure to use as much natural light as you can, because natural light will definitely help you get a natural look to it and a very, very true depiction of what your product looks like. I would say if you're shooting inside, definitely make sure there's adequate light, and presumably at least try to get the most white lighting that you could find. I think soft yellow lighting is nice, but it also gives your product a different look and feel. Try to do your photo shoot, if you can, in a well-lit room inside. If it's at night or you don't have an option to go outside, find a kitchen, a bathroom, a laundry room, any of these. I shot all these shots in the laundry room, but lighting is definitely key. So if you're trying to go for a cinematic look with lighting and you want really dramatic cinematic looks, I would say shoot on the side of the light where most of the product is in the shadow. That way it's going to look a lot more dramatic. If you want to get very even lighting where it's half shadows, half highlights, I would say the best type of thing for that would be to make sure half shadow, half highlight is going to look really nice for very realistic things. And then if you shoot things that are just too much on the white side or too much highlights, it's going to look blown out. You're not going to see depth. You're not going to see other attributes of your product that you're trying to highlight. So that comes into my next thing, which is the focus. So use the touchscreen. Please use the touchscreen. All you got to do, you just push on a point in your picture when you're taking a picture. If you click on the person, or you click on the mountain, or you click on the tree, or whatever it is you're taking a picture of, so you can focus just on that subject and the phone will automatically focus. I'm not going to get too in depth with advanced features for the phones, but that's definitely the gist of it, and that's definitely going to help you. I've seen a lot of people and I've seen a lot of pictures go online where everything looks in focus. There's nothing that's the focal point, or even just things that are very out of focus because the person just turned their camera on and took the picture. That was it. So definitely make sure that you touch the screen to focus on a focal point or your subject that you're trying to sell. Use different perspectives in your frame, in your shot on your phone, to get different focal points near or far. So like for instance, I have this like remote right here. I could shoot it like this and it wouldn't look as cool as like that. That looks a lot cooler, and you can kind of see where the depth is. It's 3D. It doesn't look like everything's on one plane, just sitting here on one plane. Next big key also is just stabilize yourself and your camera. If you're taking it with your hands, try to put your elbows on something or your hands. I use two hands with my phone. That way I can be as stable as I can. Just be very still. Just keep still no matter what kind of phone you have. It'll make a big difference and you don't have blur in your final picture. Definitely use a tripod. You can lean on something. You could lean the camera on another thing if you're doing that, or you can get a remote. A lot of different ways to stabilize your shots. The biggest thing I would say is don't use the digital zoom at all. Don't use it at all. What happens is when you zoom, you're going to end up pixelating things, and it's going to add a lot of noise to the final image, and that's definitely not what you want. You want to get the most information, the most colors, and the most definition from just a regular frame that is not zoomed in. So don't zoom in on your phone. If later in the post editing stuff you want to do with zoom, or if you want to crop, it'll definitely just keep all that information there without having to distort it in the camera. So do not use digital zoom. I would definitely recommend not doing that. Also, don't use filters and don't use gradients in your pictures. I would say if you're trying to sell a product. I see so many products online that have Instagram filters, Snapchat filters. They have all these different color filters, and it changes the colors of not only your product, but everything else surrounding it, and it looks ridiculous. I think it's good for certain things, but I do not think it's good for product photography. Give a true depiction of the product. Once again, thanks for tuning in. This is No Money, No Shame.
You dirty biscuit.